Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've received an email from a commercial landlord in my riding of Dufferin-Caledon, and the email goes on to say, commercial rent relief is just a headache for people like me. Why do I have to apply? It's not my problem. The tenant needs to pay. Mr. Speaker, why has this program been designed such that only landlords can apply, and if they refuse to apply, they can still demand the rent from their tenants, their commercial tenants?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member may know, the tenant and landlord relationship is one that has provincial jurisdiction. We decided to move forward in cooperation with the provinces, providing the lion's share of funding for a program that would allow us to provide support to small businesses and also to landlords to get through this time of crisis. We're looking forward to providing more details on this program, recognizing that it needs to be part of our broader approach to providing loans and to providing wage subsidies and emergency response benefits for businesses and for people.
Mr. Seeback.
Well, that doesn't actually answer the question. By putting all of the burden on the landlord or all of the privilege on the landlord, whether they choose to apply for this rent subsidy or not, they are putting small businesses in this country in serious jeopardy. These are small businesses that shut down their businesses and lost all their revenue going on 2 months. And their landlord is saying effectively, we're not applying for this program, pay up. Why won't they change the conditions of the program to allow for tenants to apply directly for the rent? They could covenant or undertake to guarantee that they would use that money to pay the landlord. When landlords are behaving badly, why are we not helping small business tenants?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned, we are working through the approach that we have as a federal government tool, which is the mortgage system. Of course, looking to the provinces to be part of this as well. We do know that there's other supports that are important. The emergency business account, particularly important. Over 600,000, $40,000 loans have been applied for and approved. So we'll continue to work with small businesses. We are looking forward to take up by landlords of this emergency rent program, and would encourage that to move forward to support businesses and landlords.
Mr. Seeback.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I am of course encouraging landlords in my riding to apply for this program. That is something that I consider to be part of my duty as a member of Parliament. But there are some who are clearly, based on this email, not going to do it. So my question for the Minister is fairly simple. Will you change the program to allow for tenants to apply for rent relief if their landlord refuses to do so? Yes or no?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we will always be looking at the programs that we are putting forward in order to make sure that they're working. We've made changes as we've moved along. In this program, we have chosen an approach that we are actually able to get funding through the landlord. That will be the approach on this, but we'll be open to looking at how we can make sure that it works.
Mr. Seeback.
Well, right now I can tell you it's not working. This is not one isolated incident. I receive emails and telephone calls on a daily basis from small businesses who are commercial tenants whose landlords are not applying for this program. So I'm asking the Minister, will you provide now some certainty that you will examine this, provide a timeline for when you will examine this, and provide an answer for these tenants so they can have some certainty? Is there a timeline where you will look to change this program? It's been 2 months. They need the help now, not in another 2 months.
I want to remind the honourable members to place their questions through the chair and not directly to the person they're asking. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, again, I'd like to thank the member. We're all trying to work hard to make sure that we support small businesses. The business account, as I mentioned, that small business loan has been particularly important. We're looking forward to providing more details on this program, which have not yet been fully disclosed, that will, we hope, help landlords and tenants to work together to make it work. Thank you.
Mr. Seeback, with 30 seconds, so a very quick question, please.
Well, I'm asking again, what is the timeline for this commitment to relook at this program so these tenants can have some hope at the end of the tunnel? Getting into more debt is not the answer for them. Is there a timeline that you will look at changing this program so that tenants can apply when landlords refuse to, so their businesses don't go under?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, again, I do want to thank the member for his question and assure him that we are always looking to support small businesses. We're encouraging landlords to avail themselves of this program and encouraging them to work together with their commercial tenants to provide the relief. Of course, provinces need to step forward as well, and that's why we recognize that we all need to work together to support these small businesses.